presenting sponsor of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting tournament all year long. And as always, please drink responsibly. Final night of group play in the Jägermeister Cup culminates with a winner-take-all showdown here at Toyota Field. San Antonio and FC and New Mexico United playing for a right to move through to the knockout round. And a pleasant good evening. We say hello here from the broadcast booth on FanDuel Sports Network with Katie Goodman. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us here this evening. And Katie, the path is pretty simple for both these sides. You win in 90 minutes, you win Group 2, and you advance to the knockout round.
Right, and talk about a really difficult group stage there between SAFC, New Mexico, and Phoenix. Just a tough one. And let's look at what's at stake here. A win in regulation is really the only way that San Antonio is going to make it through, aside from a potential wild card situation if they do draw in this match with New Mexico.
Yeah. Actually, that's not true. Yeah, we would get through with a draw, too, as well.
Right. I said if they have a draw and a wild card.
Well, no, you said the win is the only way we could get through.
But then I said...
Yeah, it didn't sound right. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang it. Okay.
Yeah.
I would think I was trying to make up for it. I was like, but also,
yeah,
that's not the only way.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, they can get in with Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting tournament all year long. And as always, please drink responsibly. Final night of group play in the Jägermeister Cup culminates with a winner-take-all showdown here at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC and New Mexico United clash for a chance to go through to the knockout round. We say hello from the broadcast booth with Katie Goodman. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us here this evening. And Katie, well, the path for both these sides is pretty simple here tonight. Win in regulation, and you're through to the knockout rounds.
Right, and talk about a difficult group stage, because it feels like these guys are going to be seeing a lot of each other, probably in the playoffs too. But let's look at what's at stake here. A win in regulation, SAFC is going to advance, and that's pretty much what has to happen for them to advance. New Mexico trailing just by a loss in regulation. They still have a chance with a wild card draw.
Yeah, New Mexico United, their only guarantee is to win. San Antonio FC, if they were to lose in full time, they would have to await other results to determine if they're one of the two wild cards. As you said, these clubs have some familiarity with one another already, meeting a few weeks ago back at the lab in Albuquerque. And New Mexico United, Katie, walking away with a 4-2 win, their most goals so far this season in a single match.
Right, unfortunate for them to give up this one early on, just wasn't marking their guy. Lucky Mitch Tainer able to get conversion there on the PK, but again, it was just time after time, guys left unmarked right through the middle, and a big part of that was just the numbers that they were able to get up into the attack, causing a lot of problems there for that SAFC defense. As you can see there, Paredes able to equalize, unfortunately also received a red card, which in turn I think cost them the game.
Yeah, 2 goals in stoppage time from Luis Fernando and Marlon Vargas. With the exclamation point, United wins their 3rd straight overall against San Antonio FC. That 4-2 final. New Mexico coming in with confidence after beating San Antonio FC, but they've lost their last couple of matches here. SAFC, of course, is unbeaten, and they've won their last 4 matches here, so should be a good one tonight. It always is when SAFC and New Mexico go head-to-head.
Right, always help when you have some rhythm going. You're at home. I think it's going to be the best chance that San Antonio is going to have to lock down that New Mexico United defense. They are probably some of the best in league from what I've seen.
Both these clubs are healthy. They've both been off for the last week, and for SAFC, that means Diogo Pacheco and Jorge Hernandez are both available tonight for selection. More on the other side when we continue here on FanDuel Sports Network. San Antonio FC Soccer on FanDuel Sports Network is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Final Saturday here in July. It is the final night of group play in the Jägermeister Cup. San Antonio FC, New Mexico United tangle here on this final night in the group stage. For New Mexico United, going with a 4-2-3-1 under Dennis Sanchez. This has been a pretty consistent lineup for them. Luis Fernando on the left side leads them with 4 goals in 15 matches in USL Championship play, coming over from Memphis. And for San Antonio FC, Harvey Neville will make his first start, coming over in a transfer from Phoenix a couple weeks ago. Joey Petroni has been outstanding in net in this Jägermeister Cup, winning 2 matches against Colorado Springs and Union Omaha. San Antonio FC is getting healthy, coming off the mental health break. And for more, let's send it down to Ashley Behavitz.
Right, Dan. The mental health break couldn't have come at a better time, obviously for the mental implications, but also for the physical recovery of so many players who have been fighting injuries over the last 2 months. Coach Lamosa said this week the players are excited, enthusiastic, and well rested. Tonight, the active 18 looks hearty and healthy as 3 players return from injury. Diogo Pacheco, Mohamed Armar, and Jorge Hernandez are all going to be back and healthy from injury. Now keep in mind, Diogo Pacheco and Jorge Hernandez are active tonight and anticipated to play minutes off the bench, Dan.
Thanks, Ashley. Center referee for tonight's match, Matthew Corrigan, working alongside Peter Hansen, Jane Norris. Sean Coquetti is our 4th official. We are underway with Katie Goodman and our entire crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us here this evening on FanDuel Sports Network on the final night of group play in the USL Jägermeister Cup, which for the first time featuring both USL Championship and USL League One. San Antonio FC atop the Group 2 table with 9 points. New Mexico United 3rd in the Group 2 table right now with 6 points. Phoenix is in 2nd with 7. They've already played their 4 matches. No more points available for them. San Antonio FC advances through. They win the group with either a win or a draw. New Mexico United, the only way they can win the group is with a win in full time here against San Antonio.
That last matchup with New Mexico, obviously they did an incredible job of taking advantage of all their opportunities in front of goal, but I think it could have even been a couple of more there had they really sealed the deal. But unfortunately for San Antonio, having to give up a red card towards the end of the match really cost them. So then it makes you wonder, here in this matchup, San Antonio's on a roll. We've got New Mexico here on a little bit of a struggle. I think the odds are pretty good favor here for San Antonio.
Let's get to your keys to victory, Katie.
Right, so speaking of, just with Mexico, they had a lot of opportunities. It's just taking advantage of those. They're going to really have to do it here, especially if San Antonio has a really fully healthy 11. Keep focusing on that constant rotation. It gave San Antonio a ton of problems. It was really hard to track the runner, converted some goals for them there. For San Antonio, they're going to have to stop it from the back. That high press mentality, controlling things through the middle, and I think they'll have some success there.
There's a giveaway by SAFC in the midfield. And here's Marlon Vargas with Mukwele Akwala getting forward, and an early opportunity there for Vargas, and well defended out by SAFC. As Akale slipped forward off the giveaway, he had Vargas playing through inside the 18-yard box.
And I talked about controlling the center of the field. This is what I mean, not allowing that buildup to happen in the first place. Look at all the numbers up here from New Mexico, really causing problems there for San Antonio. Good work from Cronali just to get a foot on that one.
New Mexico United currently 3rd in the Western Conference table in USL Championship play, 25 points. They're 2 back of SAFC, who's 2nd in the table with 27 points. Nobody playing in USL Championship play here tonight. It is all Jägermeister Cup action here as the Jägermeister Cup comes to a conclusion this evening. San Antonio FC in their 10th anniversary jerseys, the gray and black and the checkered pattern in front. New Mexico United in their yellow kits this evening, trimmed in black. San Antonio FC all-time against New Mexico United. 5 wins, 8 defeats, 1 draw. Here at Toyota Field, though, they've had the edge. 3 wins against New Mexico United. The goal differential overall is 22 apiece. But here at Toyota Field, San Antonio has outscored New Mexico 13-7 in the 7 matches. These clubs coming off their respective mental health breaks. Neither played last week. San Antonio FC in their last match here at Toyota Field, a 1-0 winner over Tampa Bay Rowdies. Luke Hawkinson scoring at the death on a beautiful setup from Andres Paredes coming up the right side. Well, New Mexico United, they took on the best in USL and Charleston Battery at the Lab in Albuquerque and fell 2-1 in that match.
When you look at that play with Luke Hawkinson and Paredes, I think that was some of the best soccer that I've seen from San Antonio. Kind of shows you how they're starting to really open up, get to learn each other, know when to let go of the ball, when to carry. I think there was a bit of a challenge there with that early on, and just love Paredes there in that top 2 spot. And of course, Hawkinson, that utilitarian player, you can expect him to be on the end of any ball.
Yeah, Hawkinson now 4 goals in USL Championship play this season and 6 goals in his 47 matches with SAFC. An opportunity on a free kick as young Harvey Neville over the ball along with Nicky Hernandez. Neville got his first minutes with SAFC in that match against Tampa Bay coming off the bench. Makes the start here tonight as the left fullback, 23-year-old from Manchester, England. And he's got a beautiful right leg, and look at him ping that ball in, although it overshoots Alex Cronali and Mitchell Tanner over there on the far side. But talking to Carlos Llamosa this week about Harvey Neville, he loves this kid. He kind of compares him to a bit of a younger version of Jimmy Medranda, and he says he can ping a ball 30 or 40 yards with the best of them.
It's always nice to have a couple of Jimmy Medrandas on the field. He's a guy who can really play anywhere, and you can see that service in was still had some quality, had a nice bend on it, just had a little bit too much on it. But you know, when you're that young and you're already holding Jimmy level accolades, that's pretty good.
One of the things that Coach Llamosa talked about in the last match against New Mexico, he said in the first half, we let them get too comfortable. We let them play their game, and their game is possession. New Mexico leads USL Championship with a 62% possession rate, more passes than any other club in USL. He said once SAFC kind of made it uncomfortable for New Mexico in the second half, they took control of the game despite giving up the 2 goals in stoppage time after Paredes was served a red card right before full time. But he said the strategy tonight is to press New Mexico, make them play over the top, don't let them knock the ball around and build out of the back. And you could see on that last sequence right in front of keeper Alex Timbakis, SAFC was coming with a high set of pressure here, trying to force New Mexico into playing more direct and playing with an early mistake perhaps.
Yeah, the only way to really keep a really solid possession-based team at bay is to put bodies on them, to slow down play, to start from the top, defend offensively, as they say. And already early on, you see New Mexico has had some success getting through the middle there in that early breakaway. But since then, San Antonio, I think, doing a pretty good job to really force them to work through here. As you can see, doing a great job to keep wide.
A good switch of the ball coming out by Gideon Zalalem, formerly at the New York Red Bulls Academy. And the man you have to watch out tonight for New Mexico is on that left flank. And Luis Fernando, last season, was dynamite in Memphis, and he's been excellent with New Mexico since coming over to Dennis Sanchez's club. Gives it over here in this instance, and San Antonio FC on the counterattack. That ball's driven in, it'll land to Agudelo! Timbakis can't keep it out, and Juan Agudelo puts SAFC ahead in the 8th minute.
And the celebration just as good as the goal. I am so here for it. Agudelo, man, that was a goal that I didn't even think stood a chance. That opportunity, it didn't feel like it had enough pace on the ball. Just sneaks by the center back. Let's have a look at it here. He sends it in, barely trickles across. He just can't quite get it. And it's that one touch here from Agudelo really makes him pay. You can't give Agudelo a wide look at goal. He's going to put it away.
Agudelo's second goal in this Jägermeister Cup. He scored the winner against Phoenix. That's San Antonio FC's 5th goal in the USL Jägermeister Cup. They have yet to concede a goal in their 4 matches, including this one to this point, as Agudelo gives SAFC the lead. And New Mexico United, Katie, they have not won from a losing position all season. They have not taken a point from a losing position all season. One of the few clubs in USL Championship with that unfortunate mark. And a little bit of extracurricular from Will Seymour after the fact on Harvey Neville, and San Antonio FC with Mitchell Tanner, Luke Hawkinson converging here on the veteran Seymour. And Seymour perhaps sending a message to the youngster Harvey Neville there. A little bit over-aggressive after the ball had crossed out over the touchline.
It's funny when you look at these scuffles. I mean, this is obviously a really terrible late hit. Trying to send a message there, as you were saying, but, you know, as the guys begin to clear the bench and go at it, you've got some guys with smiles trying to diffuse, guys turning things up. Good thing, no harm, no foul across the board here, though. But I think this is just a tiny bit of what this game is going to be like. New Mexico not happy with that early goal, frustrated early on, as they should be.
San Antonio FC, they do what they need to do. They get out on their front foot, which has been for them what has been really the key to their success here ever since that loss in New Mexico. They fell 4-2, fell behind in 3 different instances, 1-0 and then 2-1. Were able to come back and equalize in both opportunities, but giving up those 2 goals in the second half of stoppage time. Mexico United came away with their 3rd consecutive win over SAFC. And Paredes whistled for the foul. And it's Andres Paredes again, Katie, who set up that goal for Juan Agudelo. And Paredes, who has just been nothing short of a revelation here over the last month of the regular season.
He has been the absolute game changer here for San Antonio, able to carry it, take guys one-on-one, also knows when to release it there. And I think initially that was a bit of the challenge for him. He was so good one-on-one that, you know, he did get a couple of goals like that, but you could see that last game, that goal from Luke Hawkinson came because Paredes released it at the right time. Same situation here. Agudelo able to convert. But yeah, I think San Antonio, they can take, I think, a breath of relief here, knowing that they're up early, but of course still needing to handle business, as New Mexico of course has all the firepower. But it's really not looking good for New Mexico considering their track record, a couple losses, a draw. It doesn't feel like the same team that we saw a couple weeks ago.
Just their biggest issue is they've never played well this season from behind, and many of the advanced metrics, when you look at their club, they've found a very high expected goal rate against that has never come to fruition. So in a lot of cases, it seems New Mexico hasn't been playing their best soccer. They've managed to come away with either a result or a victory. See what happens here tonight. A lot of soccer still to be played, though. Some 80 minutes left in this match, but for SAFC, they've set the tone here early.
There's been kind of a lot of silly turnovers in the worst spot possible there in the back, so that's something that they're just going to have to clean up.
Zalalem, he's trying to search out Luis Fernando.
And even then, that distribution felt easy to read there by Cernali, able to just kind of easily deflect.
Seymour, headed out of harm's way there by Mitchell Tainer.
Diving header there from Tainer, I think, is going to be a meme after this. Put a Superman cape on his back and call it a day. Another break.
Plenty of space for Paredes. Inside the box, heavy on that last touch. And it'll go back to Alex Tambakis as Paredes gets upended and goes to those end boards there out in front of section 116 behind Alex Tambakis in the New Mexico goal.
Paredes next level at getting into that space, causing problems for defenders. But again, it's that last touch. I don't think ever got into a spot where he was going to have a clean service into Agudelo on that one. Great defense there from New Mexico.
Here's Fernando into the box, going to ground, looking to draw the penalty. It was Among, but we play on Thomas Among, 27-year-old who's got 29 goals in his USL Championship career. Last year, member of Orange County SC. He's been the number 9 for New Mexico in place of Greg Hurst, who is just returning from a hernia surgery. He was on the bench 2 weeks ago in their loss against Charleston Battery, but that was his first availability in more than 3 months. Said he had never missed more than 6 weeks at any point in his 12-year professional career. He'd been out for 3 months dealing with a hernia surgery. He's available tonight in the 18, but he's their normal number 9. 19 goals for Hurst in his New Mexico United career.
Unfortunate for the injury, of course, but talk about a blessing. All that time, that's the most time you end up sitting out. I feel like there are some people whose bodies are just built different, you know. But also, you know, when you start getting these little breakdowns, sometimes it compounds.
Nearly a giveaway by SAFC in the back, and Petroni Oh, he gets away with one there as Vargas couldn't settle, and Tainer is able to take it out of his own box, but trouble not yet averted. Zico Bailey stepping forward will keep it inside of the field for a few more seconds before San Antonio FC nearly came away with a break with Juan Agudelo as Ousmane Jabang went down defending.
Chaotic 45 seconds there, but luckily no harm, no foul there for San Antonio. Mitch able to carry it out with ease, and I think that's why he's earned those, Defender of the Year accolades, why he's such a foundational piece here for San Antonio, is his composure in those moments and just able to turn things around when things become in disarray.
Plenty of activity here in this first half for two clubs that typically like to settle into a game. San Antonio FC just 9 first half goals in league play so far this year. New Mexico, they'd only conceded 4 goals in league play in their first 15 matches this year in the first half. There's Jalen Lindsay over there trying to keep it in play, and it'll go back to Joey Petroni, San Antonio kid who has been tremendous in this USL Jägermeister Cup. Nenes Paredes is down on the field over there on the far side.
Took a tumble over the side railing. Can't feel good.
Yeah, and that goes back, of course, to when he had that break a few minutes ago and went into those railings, which don't have a lot of padding over there behind the goal of Alex Tambak. He's going to get back up.
It's a great challenge, just trying to keep the ball out. He's trying to slow down, just wasn't able to. Great advertisement for Rico's there.
Paredes with the assist on the goal by Juan Agudelo in the 8th minute, giving SAFC the opening goal here tonight at Toyota Field on a rain-cooled evening. 85 degrees at kickoff. Breeze out of the southeast, about 15 miles an hour. Agudelo making the turn. Hawkinson, Harvey Neville, and Zico Bailey along with Ousmane Jabang coming back. And Jabang.
Talk about the weather. It just wasn't too toasty of a day. Very strange for July. Still hot, but neither team, I'm sure, worried about that. New Mexico just as dry and hot.
Akale gave up possession and then has tried to recover. Zalalem taking Nicky Hernandez into a foul. Possession back over to San Antonio FC.
Even still, it seems like New Mexico is just kind of hanging around here. Just so many simple errors back to back. It's really hard to get a rhythm going, especially when you're running a possession-based team and style of play. I think sometimes those moments are mental. You see a run of bad games and a couple of silly turnovers, and it's just hard to get out of your system as a team after a while.
You saw New Mexico right there almost changing their strategy. Really high line playing up there at the midfield and turned into an easy offside flag on Paredes going over the top on the right side. He was offside by about 15 yards as the flag went up.
It's a good step there from their back line to be aware of that.
Fernando with the infraction. San Antonio FC on the reset. Mitch Tainer, he's probably the one guy who isn't happy that it's not a 100-degree night here at Toyota Field. I was talking to him earlier this week, Katie, and he believes that the lack of 100-degree days has been a disadvantage for SAFC because of the fact that the opponents don't have to deal with it.
Yes.
But like I said,
their cross to bear.
He's probably the only guy who's upset that it's not 100 degrees at kickoff here tonight. But August still awaits. Beautiful turn out there again by Paredes, who's been active early.
Surprise no call there on that one. Must have been all ball. Ref was right there. But yeah, I mean, you talk about this heat, and not only that, we have some humidity out here too in San Antonio. So when it's a hot day, you're just in a sauna, and it's so bright.
There's an elbow from Will Seymour. He got away with it and flicked over the top. Akali is looking for the handball. We play on Agudelo. Paredes with a long ball. Nicky Hernandez, that's a high boot from Ousmane Jabeng. We play the advantage. Agudelo. He can't get to the ball over on the far side, but Jabeng, a dangerous boot up in the facial area of Nicky Hernandez. Doesn't draw the whistle.
Surprised it wasn't called immediately because he was behind the ball, so there wasn't really much of an advantage there.
And now let's see if New Mexico can start to build like they do with possession. Search out the wide channels. Find that pass. Seymour delivers the ball to the top of the box. It's defended away. Lucio Barone unable to exit his third of the field. Jalen Lindsay switched out here on the left side tonight.
Jalen Lindsay had himself a goal in that last
And
matchup too.
Jabeng is going to be shown yellow for that boot to the face there of Nicky Hernandez. So we're waiting for the stoppage, and Ousmane Jabeng will be shown yellow there for that boot here in the 20th minute. That's the right call.
Yeah, good to let the game play on and come back to it later.
So 2 early cautions against New Mexico. Will Seymour and Ousmane Jabeng, 2 defenders both sitting on a yellow. That's something you want when you're already down a goal here in the first 20 minutes. These teams, though, relatively healthy coming out of the mental health break for SAFC. You heard Ashley's report. Jorge Hernandez is available for the first time since June the 14th after dealing with a lower body injury. And Diogo Pacheco, who has not seen the field since the spring, is also available tonight on the bench. On the other side for New Mexico United, some interesting selections in the 18 this evening because you haven't seen him in a long time. Kalen Ryden has been out since June 14th with a broken collarbone. He's in the 18 tonight. And for the first time this season, midfielder Dayon Harris is in the 18 tonight, Katie. He missed the end of last season with a torn ACL. So this is his first match back serving in the 18 after the ACL surgery last year.
So tough to come back from. Great to see him in the 18. I mean, was a clinical player last year, so I'm sure they're happy to have him back. I'd had a chance to talk to Coach Yamosa about this mental health break week and how it's such a rare thing to see in sports, and asked him, well, what do you do with that time? And he made it a point to go do all the Texas summer activities, SeaWorld, Fiesta Texas, floated the river, and I said, wow, you made really good use of your 1 week time. That's great.
Well, nobody made better use of their mental health break than New Mexico's Zico Bailey, the former SAFC midfielder. He got married on July 13th up in Taos. So congratulations to Zico Bailey and his lovely bride.
Congrats to Zico. Man, impeccable timing, too. You know you have to plan those venues out a year or 2 in advance just to get the spot, so good on him. It was meant to be.
Zico Bailey spent 11 matches with SAFC 4 seasons ago. Here's Agudelo trying to search out Paredes. Paredes will get to the end of this one. And again, that ball gets through. It went off the back of Paredes' heel. Not a lot of pace. And now New Mexico numbers upfield with Fernando. And plenty of space for the Brazilian. Fernando, edge of the box. Fernando trying to put it inside and defend it out will result in New Mexico's second corner of the night. And that's what Carlos Yamosa told me has been the biggest difference over this 4-match winning streak. SAFC has done a much better job of defending.
Right, I mean, from top to bottom here today, they're moving it as a unit really well. They're getting numbers back. They've got the speed back there, too. They've got outside backs that are also getting up and helping in the attack. I mean, just firing on all cylinders. And then I think they're executing the game plan perfectly here. They've not had a ton of success through the middle. San Antonio has done a great job to force them wide, to force long services in, and defending them well. But I think you're going to see more of that from New Mexico trying to get out on a counter.
There's a bad giveaway by Gideon Zalalem there in the midfield, allowed SAFC a counter opportunity of their own. And it seems like the club's finally settling into this match a little bit after a chaotic start with SAFC getting an opening goal. You guys bent over here early. You know, we mentioned it's not hot out temperature-wise, 85 degrees, but it is sticky because of the rains and the tropical air mass that infiltrated south central Texas here late last night with that system out in the Gulf. And so now you've got this deep, sticky air mass that looks like both sides, and having not played in the last 2 weeks, seems to be really affecting them here so far.
Yeah, the air feels really thick. It's like breathing in a blanket of hydration. But you're sounding like a weatherman over there, Dan. You know your stuff. You really checked out that Doppler radar before you came. I thought it was going to rain all evening just because it's been overcast all day, but it's just tiny little showers hanging around. And I'm sure a lot of these fans are happy for it to be much cooler out here today.
Yeah, because they're not running up and down the field. That's why they're happy. For the players, though, it's an entirely different story, as Paredes already has been on the pitch here a couple of times here in this first 25 minutes, and you really can't afford to lose him. SAFC up a goal on the strength of Paredes' assist to Juan Agudelo, getting his second goal in Jägermeister Cup action. San Antonio FC, they win Group 2 with just the strength of 1 point here tonight. And if they win Group 2, they will host a match here at Toyota Field in the quarterfinals. They will take on whoever claims the second wild card later in August.
Always nice to have a home game when you're trying to progress forward. Right now, San Antonio seems to have this game in their control, really dictating so much here. New Mexico just trying to hang around.
Ball that came through off of Paredes that got past Jabang and settled down to Juan Agudelo. Didn't have the strongest of shots, but just enough mustard off the fingertips of Timbakis into the back of the net. Timbakis, of course, the longtime New Mexico United keeper here as San Antonio FC will get their first corner of the evening. He is featured in 234 USL Championship matches, 131 matches for New Mexico United.
And a pretty consistent 66, 68% save percentage over the past couple of years. And I think when you look at really good keepers who hang around season after season, it's that consistency.
It's the 11th time in his career he's faced San Antonio FC with an overall record 6 wins, 3 defeats, and 1 draw. This one's headed back across the face of goal, and Jalen Lindsay, like he may have taken a boot upstairs as he's down on the ground.
Always a struggle there in the box, but yeah, a high boot will get you. His ball's played in, and it's the redirect. You can see he's just trying to get it in, Cronali is, but he steps in front of it.
Yeah, there's that high boot there from Cronali. Jabang already in the books for a similar type infraction. Cronali escapes the center referee in this instance. Almir Soto. Matroni not afraid to come off his line for a youngster. SAFC with the benefit of having 3 very good keepers here at this stage in the season.
I was just going to say, I mean, the ability to pull any one of them and have success. Namani also has done such an incredible job, came on trial and really made a difference there in the last few matches. Petroni now getting his time here.
Richard Sanchez, who left the game in El Paso back on July the 4th after suffering a concussion in the first half. He's been in concussion protocol here the last couple of weeks. Seymour. Harvey Neville unable to keep it in play. Will result in another corner for New Mexico. 3rd corner that the visitors have earned here in the first half. Kwele Akale, Minnesota United product, will be the left-footed in-swinger here in this instance. Akale, 2 goals, 5 assists in his USL Championship action so far in 15 matches this year.
Leads the team with 25 chances created as well.
Akale to that back post. Yasu. Tanner skies and clears it out. Foul on New Mexico over on the far side there with Zico Bailey in the mix. Nearly a half hour into the books, SAFC with a 1-goal lead over New Mexico United. 15 matches across the Jägermeister Cups, 6 different groups here tonight. It's amazing you get to the final week of Jägermeister Cup action in the final night and not a single spot has been clinched, which makes this decision day very, very tasty here across USL Championship and League One.
I think a lot of it's the competition. You've got Phoenix, you've got New Mexico, San Antonio, all really good teams who are just making it difficult to decide. Based on what I'm seeing here, though, it's definitely going to be San Antonio's game unless New Mexico turns things around at the half.
Jalen Lindsay. Zalala. Lindsay. Back to Talon Maples. Maples, native of Leander, of course, which was badly hit here earlier this month in the Central Texas floods.
Also played with Houston Dynamo 2 and Toronto FC 2. Actually had a chance to interview him years and years and years ago when he was at Toronto FC, and it's just really cool to see him here now, really a staple on this New Mexico United team, leading the team in minutes, 1,350 minutes, has a 93.3% pass accuracy rate. That is incredible, especially as a center back.
Yeah, as a team, they convert at 86% of their passes, #1 in USL Championship, and more than 100 passes than San Antonio in their last get-together back in week 16 of the championship. Here's Akale again. A slip ball through, but Troni reads it well, comes off his line, scoops it up, and immediately whips it out to Harvey Neville. Tainer with footsteps coming of Fernando. Sneaks it over to Lucio Baron, who play over the top and forced Tambakis to come off his line here. Probably is more to the liking of Dennis Sanchez. A little bit more pressure on that back four of SAFC. Seeing the pressure coming from SAFC on the back line in New Mexico. Well, they can be a little bit of a chameleon 2K. They can shift their strategy a little bit as well.
Right. I mean, you see so many yellow jerseys, 5 jerseys camped on the back line. It's almost like they're wanting to go with a direct approach. They know they're being overloaded in the center of the field there by San Antonio. But if that's what they're going to do, they're going to have to create some movement up top, lose their defenders. Right now, it's making it really hard on New Mexico's back line to find a yellow jersey because they're just a little stagnant. So if they want to go that route, not a bad idea. Just get some more movement up top.
That's a foul against Juan Agudelo. Mexico will keep possession. Agudelo, the goal scorer. His 3rd goal overall this season. Scored his first goal in the championship in that win in El Paso back on July the 4th. Seymour will play it off Harvey Neville, and New Mexico will continue to move up the field.
I do like what I'm seeing from Harvey Neville there. You can see he does a really good job of standing up the attacker and quick movements as well. Great reaction time. I know that seems like an obvious thing, but those outside backs tend to have some of the best reaction time because of dealing with those really fast wingers, and you can see his quality too getting up in the attack.
Mexico has not gotten a lot of service to their number 9 and Tomas Among here so far early on. Just really the one opportunity about the quarter-hour mark. Otherwise, the service for him has been limited to this point.
Only sitting on a single goal this season, very different from his Orange County SC days.
SAFC stay on side. Nicky Hernandez slips past the defender. Chip it across. Tambakis stepping out to pick it off. And now Seymour will run it out here.
Incredible work just getting that ball back, being able to turn his body. Tambakis just able to get to it. Sacrificed his body, ran into the side railing there.
Vargas, good ball spotting Jalen Lindsay out there on the left flank. Lindsay, service into the box. Akale, it'll ride past him. And unable to keep it in play. Oh, no, they'll say he did manage to keep it in. Edge of the box now for Akale. Puts it in. Buckmaster dispossessed of the ball. Staying alive, New Mexico. And Vargas had it knocked away at the last moment. Well played by Almir Soto.
Absolute smothering defense there from San Antonio. Yellow jerseys didn't stand a chance. I think it's just too congested for them. If they're going to try to dribble it in, someone from the back, preferably an outside back, needs to come up and help. And again, more rotation. Look at this defense from Neville. Great work. Reese Buckmaster almost laid an egg there, but of course, San Antonio's defense collectively doing a great job just to clear it out.
You get caught with a handball to San Antonio and sets up a dangerous scoring chance for New Mexico. I almost get the feeling if New Mexico's going to have a shot here, they need to get one before halftime. Level this match back up.
The way they scored against San Antonio FC the first time in the last match was a very similar situation. They've got to mark the runner here.
Pronali able to rise above and defend that one out for a corner here. Back over to the near stick. Fourth corner coming up. And Petroni. A little bit of a shot trying to play that ball.
Great work from Pronali, but I'm going to have to see that play back there to see what happened to Petroni. If I had to guess, probably just landed the wrong way. Not good to see a keeper not bounce back up.
Daniel Namani already getting up just in case. Did he hit the post? Yeah, he did. That's exactly what happened. Great job by our camera crew there to catch that.
Great work from the camera crew. That's probably a really heavy bruise right there. Hopefully nothing worse. We just talked about it, though. We have plenty of keepers to pull from, thankfully, this season here at San Antonio FC. But talk about the challenge. You've got these guys. They've been playing for 35 minutes now. If you have to come in as a keeper, that's going to be a tough one.
Looks like he's going to continue here. He's giving the okay to the longtime trainer, Jesse Lawrence. And a corner for New Mexico. Akale. Punched out. Nicely done by Petroni there. Akale stays onside. Wrestling away from Agudelo. Searching out Lindsay at that back post. It'll ride away from him. And the ball back to Joey Petroni in net.
I think he had all of San Antonio worried there, holding the elbow, but then very next play punched it right out. So good to see he is back in business, it seems. Petroni, actually a San Antonio FC Academy product. You have two other Academy guys, Landry Walker and Dylan Mendoza, on the roster as well. So it just speaks volumes about what San Antonio is able to do with their talent here.
Signed in the offseason while he was still at the University of Virginia. Wanted to graduate, so he didn't join the club until May. And then Carlos Llamosa did well in allowing him to get acclimated to the first team. They had, of course, the luxury of having Richard Sanchez and Daniel Lamani do so well in the early part of the season that they didn't have to rush along Petroni. But Petroni really came with a lot of accolades from his time with the Virginia Cavaliers, including leading Virginia to a Sweet 16 appearance a couple years ago in the NCAA tournament.
Says so much for the men's side too, just not as many opportunities for the men's game at the collegiate level versus the women's game due to Title IX. So when you've got a guy who's made it to Sweet 16, that says something.
Harvey Neville, service across. Buckmaster fended out. Two-way play there by Luis Fernando getting back, and we'll earn San Antonio FC their second corner of the evening.
I know it was a hustle trying to get into the box there, but based on what we have seen from New Mexico, those balls just trickling across the middle, some silly turnovers, I would want all my guys running full force there to pick it up. Still a good effort there from San Antonio.
It's Harvey Neville who will go take the corner again for the second time, so we've seen some of that magic for Neville that Carlos Llamosa talked about. There with Nicky Hernandez. Neville, the left-footed in-swinger. It's a low ball this time, and served right back to him. Neville will try the opposite foot. He called for a handball to SAFC inside the box. Referee, though, said went off his chest, and we play on.
I was half expecting to see some somersaults in their ball running loose like that. But New Mexico with a great clearance nonetheless. Sometimes when it's pretty chaotic in there, you don't get the clear that you want, but that's the perfect place to put it if you just need to get it out.
Approaching halftime here at Toyota Field. Paredes. And flag is up on the far side.
No, we're sharing. I'm talking. Yep.
Talon Maples will switch the play over to Will Seymour. Seymour in his 11th year, 33 years of age. He's featured in 92 USL matches for New Mexico United. Zico Bailey and Talon Maples. Now New Mexico will move up the field with Luis Fernando. And alongside Jalen Lindsay. Fernando, was he able to stay on? He was. Here's Vargas joining the rush. Lindsay. Zalalem. Zico or Usman Jabang calling for the ball. Bringing that switch.
For a minute there, they were pinging it around with some pace. I thought they were going to make San Antonio pay, but it's when they start to slow things down, let San Antonio get set, that they run into issues. I mean, look how congested it is. What could you possibly make of that?
They do give it away, though, as Lindsay knocks it over to Fernando. Fernando, get it through the defense. Fernando, that ball sitting out there. Zico Bailey. Usman Jabang. Drive one through, goes off Lucio Verdon. Akale trying to get down to that byline. Jabang over the top. The header. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. The flag went up.
I like the idea and the mindset of trying to put a chip in. I think for a couple minutes there, guys are just trying to drill it through people. Guys need to pick their heads up and see what's available.
Trying to get some service to that man, Tomas Among, the goal scorer, who's had limited services mentioned here so far in the first half. That's the best we've seen from New Mexico, though, on the SAFC third of the field here in this first half.
Well, they finally did what San Antonio wanted them to do, which is go with the long service in. But if you notice, that created a lot of space in the midfield for the late run. So I wouldn't be surprised if New Mexico does a little bit more of that.
Remember, New Mexico United needs at least 2 goals to possibly come away with a win to get through to the knockout round of the Jägermeister Cup. Only way United advances is with a win here in regulation time. That's a giveaway. Here's Soto trying to turn. Defended as it'll land down to Tambakis, and a good recovery by New Mexico's defense. Meanwhile, SAFC, all they need to get through is a single point. If this match were to end in a draw, we would go to penalties to decide a second point, but that second point would be irrelevant to SAFC. Single point wins the group for them. Second point could be valuable to New Mexico in a possible wild card position, but they won't know that until all the Jägermeister Cup matches are said and done for. It's these just kind of careless loose balls that have plagued New Mexico here so far in the first half. It's a direct result of the goal scored by Agudelo.
Right, I would also argue in the last about minute, things have not been, well, a minute or two, things haven't been as intentional for San Antonio. I mean, a couple balls given away, turnovers, not picking your head up to see a guy running in behind, things like that, that if they want to really get that insurance goal, they're going to have to clean it up moving into the attack.
Petroni will handle this one cleanly. Footsteps coming of Among. Give it to the captain, Mitchell Tainer. Let Tainer go to work. Skips by Akale. Goes backwards to Soto for a switch to Alex Cronali. Barone upfield. And again, SAFC going in the wrong direction here. And they give it away.
I think if they were going to go that route, they should have gotten it to Lucio Barone as fast as they could. He's kind of parked in the open there in the middle.
Zico Bailey chance, that's blocked. Second effort, off Petroni, what a save with his right hand. Keeps SAFC ahead just before halftime. What a stop by the SAFC keeper Petroni there.
That very well may have been the save of the week. Let's look at this. Point blank, has a go at it. Gets a paw up and on it, on the fall. Great work there.
Zico Bailey couldn't believe it. But he had this match leveled. Dangerous for New Mexico here in these last couple of minutes of the first half. One more look here. Behind the net.
You can see he's just trying to get in the vicinity of the goal. He has no idea where that's going to go. So the fact that he is tracking that ball while he's mid-air, gets a paw up, is what I think makes that a save of the week.
Stopping Tomas Among. His bid for the equalizer. 4 minutes added time here at the end of the first half. Hawkinson. Agudelo. Agudelo! Just over goal. As Hawkinson served it up. Agudelo put it over goal.
Really too bad there. Things truly heating up for San Antonio. Love, again, that one-touch spot. He just can't quite get on the end of it. Really good effort there, though. And, you know, I think a lot of times big plays like that happen after another big play. That big save from Joey Petroni, they turn right around. They have a look at goal. You know, this is what people talk about who are soccer players. We talk about with momentum and energy. San Antonio's got it right now.
Tainer concedes. New Mexico on the attack. Ukwele Akale. Tainer gets run over. Neville upends Akale. And a foul here. And New Mexico will have a free kick.
That's too bad. That one almost looked like a really good advantage as well, with Fernando coming in hot. Either way, they get a second chance at it here.
Well, for all the attention that has been paid on Fernando tonight, Akale has been equally as dangerous here on the right flank.
Again, leads the team with 25 chances created, and you see why. He may only have 2 goals, but it's the stuff he's doing off the ball that is, I think, the most impactful.
Ukwele Akale, 28-year-old from Minneapolis, over the ball alongside Marlon Vargas for New Mexico here. Late moments of this opening half at Toyota Field. SAFC up a goal thanks to Juan Agudelo, thanks to the outstretched mitt of Joey Petroni stopping Thomas Among. Another bid here for Akale and the visitors. Akale. That ball just sitting there inside the 6-yard box and somersaulted out there by Mitchell Tainer. Will serve up the 5th corner of the evening for New Mexico.
My goodness, all physicality there for Mitch. Expect nothing less, but a somersault to clear it out. Gotta hand it to him.
Now Akale on the corner. That one's easily handled by Juan Agudelo, although trying to exit was Paredes, couldn't handle. Final minute, stoppage time here in this first half. Paredes, flag stayed down, the ball was behind him. San Antonio forced to regroup.
Unlucky they weren't able to make something of that, but just the way that they are moving through the middle into the attack, San Antonio looks like a really different team. Could have had a quick switch there with Buckmaster.
Timbakis. Ahead of Paredes will drive it all the way back down. These closing seconds of this first half, maybe one last chance for SAFC on the attack. Harvey Neville. Oh, Tamakis got a piece of that one. As Neville was trying to pocket it into the far corner, and Tamakis just got enough of it to direct it out.
For me, it's that build-up, the calm, the composure, Neville giving it a go, but you're right, it's that save, that composure there from Tamakis. Saves the day. That's why he's got that starting spot.
Oh, wow. They're going to blow the whistle, and they will not allow San Antonio FC a chance at the final corner. You rarely see that when a team has a scoring opportunity, even in stoppage time, and that gets negated by a whistle for halftime.
I literally don't think I've ever seen that, ever. So that's interesting.
Mitchell Tainter clearly hasn't seen it either. He's got plenty to say to the center referee, Matthew Corrigan, right there. But SAFC will head to halftime with a lead 1-0 over New Mexico United. Juan Agudelo getting the scoring started early in this match in the 8th minute. Joey Petroni outstanding in net. Halftime coming up when we continue here on FanDuel Sports Network.
Welcome back to Toyota Field. It is halftime here at Toyota Field, and it is Do Good Night, presented by our good friends at Goodwill of San Antonio. You can hear the Christmas music in the background. It's Christmas in July, and we are giving back to the community. I'm currently in the Sky Suite, where there's tons of activations to help support the community, and especially, we've got Penny. She is from the Footbridge Foundation, and there is tons of available dogs that the foundation has brought to adopt to our SAFC fans tonight. Now, the players previewed some of these dogs earlier in the week. I'm sure you saw it on social media, but these dogs are currently available for adoption. Now, if you're watching at home, you might not be able to make it out and check out these dogs, but you can always visit their website at footbridgefoundation.org to check out Penny's profile and many of the other dogs and cats that are available. Now, a really special tie-in to tonight is a couple players from our team have actually adopted their own dogs locally. Both Mitch Tainter and Jorge Hernandez have adopted their dogs from local shelters here in San Antonio. So I want to give a huge shout out to Rue Tainter and Oso Hernandez for being the perfect example of why you adopt, don't shop, especially on a night like tonight at Do Good Night here at Toyota Field. Say hello, Penny. Give them a little love.
Now, once again, you can visit the website footbridgefoundation.org to find out more about Penny and some of the other dogs available. Now, when we return, we'll have more on the first half with Katie and Dan.
Winner take all in the final night of Group 2 play here in the USL Jägermeister Cup. San Antonio FC in the driver's seat at halftime, 1-0 over New Mexico United. We welcome you back inside the broadcast booth. Katie Goodman, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us here this evening. And Katie, San Antonio FC at home, wasting no time, taking care of business, getting on the board, and then letting their defense do the rest of the work here in the first half.
Right, only 8 minutes in, they make New Mexico pay. Beautiful service in there. The ball trickles across the 5, and it's Agudelo who's able to seal the deal. Really hard one to stop there. Better shot. So here's really good defense from San Antonio. I think this is what is winning them the game right here. Not a single chance to breathe for New Mexico. They may be doing well in possession, but they just haven't been able to do much with it.
Joey Petroni hasn't given up a goal so far in Jägermeister Cup play, and that's a big reason why right there.
I mean, look at this save. He's clocking the ball right there, gets his paw up just to stop it. Again, I've said this 3 times. I think it's going to be a save of the week. No-brainer.
Yeah, outstanding.
USL Championship.
Outstanding stuff there from Joey Petroni as SAFC maintains the lead at the half. Take a look at the numbers here from the first 45 minutes. We talked about how New Mexico is a dominant possession team, so 71-29. But you and I were talking about this before. I don't think that really kind of played a role in the first half until maybe the latter minutes of it if you're New Mexico.
Right, that 29% of possession there for San Antonio was really good quality stuff. Enough to convert a goal, enough to give them a couple of opportunities to move up with intention. But that 71% that New Mexico United has been all along the back line, along the flanks, nothing really intentional or dangerous.
So this is a Jägermeister Cup match. So if you're New Mexico and it's USL Championship, it's the middle of the summer, you might kind of, maybe slow play it a little bit here in the second half, see if you could generate an equalizer. But knowing you need a win to get through to the next round. I think we're going to see a different second half than we would likely see if this was just your typical July, Saturday evening match here in the middle of the summer.
Right. Some of the things I think that did work there in that first half was the more direct approach. Essentially, it had San Antonio drop. It opened up the middle. New Mexico came in with the late run, had a couple of looks, gave Joey Petruni a couple of problems with that exact thing. So if they do a little bit more of that, I think they're going to have better success because San Antonio is just dominating the middle of the field, doing really, really well in defense.
And even if San Antonio concedes one, they would still be in the driver's seat to advance through the knockout round. Only need a point here tonight against New Mexico United. We got more as our halftime continues after this here on FanDuel Sports Network. Halftime of this final night of group play here in the USL Jägermeister Cup. Group 2 action, San Antonio FC with a 1-0 lead over New Mexico United. Take a look at news and notes from across the USL Championship. And, of course, the Jägermeister Cup is really what's top of mind. The cup draw was earlier this week. And so you've got now the schedule outlined in terms of the group winners and where everyone will play and the 2 wild cards, even though we don't know who any of those 8 teams are just yet. As you see, 3 teams from USL League One with a chance to advance into the knockout rounds. And Orange County kind of headlining the list of transfers. It was a busy week of transfers in USL Championship. This one was going to overseas. Kyle Scott is going to English FL League Two, going to Crawleytown FC, a long-time Kiwi playing in the center back position for Orange County. Second half action coming up on the other side. 1-0 San Antonio FC with a lead here on FanDuel Sports Network. Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting tournament all year long. And as always, please drink responsibly. SAFC with a 1-0 lead at the half over New Mexico United. Dan Weiss, Katie Goodman, our entire crew with you here from Toyota Field. Take a look at what's at stake. SAFC advances through to the knockout round with just a single point, either a win or a draw. If New Mexico were to come back and win, they would win Group 2. SAFC, they would have to await results from around the rest of the Jägermeister Cup action to determine if they win one of 2 wild card spots. And the second tiebreaker for wild card spots, by the way, beyond the points, which is the first tiebreaker, obviously points in group play, where there's 2 teams within the same group, is goals scored. And SAFC, for as good as they've been in the Jägermeister Cup, they haven't scored a lot of goals. The goal they scored in the first half was just the 5th goal in 4 matches in this Jägermeister Cup. If it was goal differential, Katie, they'd be sitting pretty. They haven't given up a single goal in Jägermeister Cup play, but the whole point of this in-season tournament was actually to promote goal scoring. So SAFC would kind of be, I think, on the outside looking in, should they somehow concede this match and end up losing in terms of a wild card spot, but hopefully it doesn't get to that point.
Let's hope not. I know that early goal really helped them out confidence-wise too, but they're going to have to start out with the same fire here in the second half. You know, New Mexico went back to the drawing board. They're not going to let another half go by the same way as they started. I just don't think that was their top quality there. So it's about turning it around, and you know, even if they don't win this game, this next 45 minutes is going to be important for them moving into regular season too, into the next game. You want to break these losing and tie streaks as quickly as you can, and every 45 minute counts.
New Mexico just 1 win in their last 5 matches coming into play here this evening. San Antonio FC, 2 wins in USL Championship play, but you added the 2 wins here in the Jägermeister Cup, giving them 4 consecutive wins. Their last defeat was against New Mexico United in Week 16 of the championship. Thomas Among making the run. The ball never got to him.
Up to that point, they were moving really well. Lots of rotation through the middle, making it difficult for San Antonio to mark. It seems to be that final service in where they really struggle here as of late.
Mexico will return to league play here with a match on the road at Hartford Athletic as Nicky Hernandez will get served a yellow card in the middle of the park. Ending early here in the second half of the 47th minute.
Probably got the yellow because the cleats were up, but really it was all ball. Ref doing a good job just to maintain control over this game. Looking back at it here, ball's just out of touch, and as you can see, he gets to the ball first. He can't stop the momentum, but the cleats are up, and that's what's going to get you booked. San
Antonio FC will return to USL Championship play next Saturday night here at home as they will welcome in the red-hot Sacramento Republic squad to Toyota Field. It'll be the end of really what will be a very light second-half home slate for San Antonio FC. A lot of matches coming up on the road here between now and the end of the regular season. Zico Bailey will settle. Jalen Lindsay, edge of the box. Aquele Vargas is defended out. Throw belonging to New Mexico. No changes at the half for either side. Coaches sticking with their 11s that finished the half. It was a busy week of transfers, as we talked about, Katie, across USL Championship, and New Mexico was a big part of that as they made a significant move with Las Vegas Lights as they acquired attacking midfielder Valentin Noel from Lights and sending Mackenzie Gaines and Anthony Herbert to Las Vegas here earlier this week. And Noel made it to New Mexico in time for tonight's match. He's in the 18 wearing number 21, reunited with his old coach Dennis Sanchez, who was with him last year at New Mexico when Lights went to the Western Conference Final.
I think I'd want to take the guy who scored 11 goals and had 7 assists along with me too.
We'll see if Valentin Noel gets into action here. Hawkinson breaks free, lofts it across. Hernandez! Oh my goodness! Backus somehow swallowed him up.
For a minute there, I thought that was going to be a Meg, but he came out off his line so fast. Ball on the other side of the field so quick.
Fernando. It deflects Off of Harvey Neville and lands back here.
Look at this last attack. Beautiful run there from Hawkinson. He gets his eyes up and just the most beautiful cross in. Hernandez with a great touch. He's trying to go for the Meg, but of course, a keeper like Tambakis, he's been there, he's done that before. You notice his body goes to the side, he slides down to catch it. Still a really tricky move, but that's all you can do as a keeper is come off your line really fast, make yourself big. He did everything right.
And again, those might be again some of the chances that New Mexico is forced to take here in playing in the second half and pushing their back line further up the field, knowing that they really only have one shot of advancing through here in the Jägermeister Cup, and that's by taking all 3 points. Again, that's a big reason why that Joey Petroni stop on Thomas Among at the end of the first half was looming so large here right now. Because if New Mexico gets this back to level before halftime, I think it's an entirely different match. Talon Maples.
I mean, they've definitely woken up with a little bit more fire, I would say, in the second half. But San Antonio, of course, bringing that physical mindset, as you would expect.
Maples. Oh, he gave it up. Agudelo can put it away, and he does just that. Juan Agudelo's got Greece and San Antonio FC in the driver's seat as they look to advance through to the knockout round.
Agudelo absolutely on fire tonight. He made it look easy. Like it was nothing, just another day in training. The beautiful service in for Mitch Tainter. Nice backspin is what stops that ball and creates problems for the defender. A beautiful touch and a quick release there from Agudelo. Puts Tambakis in shambles.
Well, he loves this Jägermeister Cup. That's his 3rd goal in 4 matches in the Jägermeister Cup. For the Colombian, the veteran Juan Agudelo, his 15th pro season. That now gives him in his SAFC career 12 overall goals.
Really love the dynamic there between Agudelo and Paredes up top. Just the services in, they're able to read each other really well, but it's, I think, Luke Hawkinson in the mix has really created a lot of problems there in the middle of the field. And just the way the guys are building out of the back is some really good stuff to be, at this point in season, to be so clean and composed.
Yeah, you don't want to necessarily rest on your laurels at this point, but as San Antonio FC goes, they are playing with quite amount of insurance in their back pocket right now. They can give up 2 goals and still see their way through.
Well, based on that last game, did get away from them. I think they're probably not going to take any chances. It's kind of recent, so hard to forget, going down 4-2, even if you are down a man. So it's also about keeping tempers at bay, playing smart. Not sure how that wasn't a call.
Fernando. There's a chance, Zico Bailey, and a foul whistled against New Mexico United as Harvey Neville got picked off there with a pretty clean shoulder check, which clean if it was hockey we were playing, but not so clean in soccer.
Hockey, soccer, tomato, Not going to work for you there, especially in the box. Such a tricky spot, all eyes in that moment.
Now, if San Antonio FC does go through and see this one out and advance to the knockout round, they will host the second wild card team, who we do not know and probably won't know until the night is said and done. There's a couple of matches out on the West Coast that could play a part in the wild card winner. But they will host that match on the 20th of August here at Toyota Field. So what's interesting is that if you look at their USL Championship schedule, they're supposed to be in Orange County that night, playing Orange County on August 20th. That's on the regular season schedule. But
I guess USL Championship has something to figure out.
Yes, they will be making an adjustment to the regular season schedule. Again, that match, August 20th here at Toyota Field. Here's Paredes, able to slip past it. Oh, he hits the woodwork. Gets him back, his feet and clean. He's stopped by the woodwork there.
Oh, you know that hurts, but what a beautiful breakaway in 1v1 from Paredes. Again, you can't blink on him.
That's the second SAFC player to record a brace here in Jägermeister Cup action. Remember, Paredes had the brace in Colorado Springs back last month. Usman Jabang. Akale. Puts this one across. Will Seymour. Jabang.
I think they're trying to cook it in the wrong spot, really high up the field. If they want to do that and try to find seams, they need to be back a little bit to open up top.
There's a chance there. Vargas off his back heel. And San Antonio does a nice job to defend out. Vargas, well, he slipped that one through. Kale went down, but there was no call.
Right before that entire play, New Mexico had a chance for a tough diagonal, but I think they could have made it happen. I think what I'm seeing here is they don't really have a nose for goal right now. Trying to rely on the possession, finding a seam and a perfect pass in. They're not going to get it here with San Antonio.
Paredes has been down on the field a few times here and continues to need some attention. I wouldn't be surprised maybe if he comes out here. Take a look at the upcoming schedule here as we're going to get some substitutes now here coming in for New Mexico United momentarily.
I'm going to be surprised.
When Seymour comes out, and coming on is the aforementioned Valentin Noel. Here's the road ahead for SAFC. And again, there's that match against Orange County on August 20th as part of the next 5. These are all USL Championship matches. Home next Saturday against Sacramento Republic. You see 3 out of the next 5 on the road for SAFC. So that could actually be a nice little break if that Jägermeister Cup match slips in between that match between Lexington and Monterey Bay.
Right, perfect timing, really. Get a potential win at home, especially if it's a wild card team. It's going to be an easier team from another group. So might be what they need to carry on that momentum.
SAFC's won their last 2 in USL Championship and peaking at the right time. And for more on that, let's send it down to the third member of our crew, Ashley Behabits. Ashley?
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, you talk about that momentum, right? And I asked last week, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me, about peaking at the right time. I mean, if this team is trending towards that. I talked to Luke Hawkinson, and he said, we don't want to be at our best in March, April. We want to be at our best in October, November. Obviously, they're on this 4-game winning streak right now, but they haven't been flawless games, and he said that's okay. Coach Lamosa said each week they improve, they get better, they develop chances, then they execute on those chances, and then they finish games. And if that's the path that they're going towards, they're trending in the right direction, Dan.
Thanks, Ashley. Substitutes for New Mexico here coming on. We mentioned Valentin Noel and also on Chris Gloucester, the outside left back. Noel making his New Mexico United debut after being acquired a transfer from Las Vegas just yesterday.
San Antonio FC has some guys warming up there on the side.
Vargas. Troni takes that one off the carpet there. Vargas scored in the last match against SAFC, one of 4 different goal scorers for New Mexico, along with Jalen Lindsay, Quelle Akale, and Luis Fernando. Vargas' goal was the 4th and final one for New Mexico United. San Antonio FC, Reese Buckmaster. For a seam, Gloucester steps up to intercept. Paredes. Hawkinson. Defended out there by Jabang. Will turn into a corner here for SAFC's, their 4th corner of the evening.
Again, San Antonio not needing to possess a lot to make it impactful. Just that little combination right there on the side says it all. Then, of course, that Paredes turn was beautiful. The way he created space, able to move into the side of the ball. That's why he's so hard to mark. He's got really, really great spatial awareness.
Neville, Nicky Hernandez over by the near stick to take this corner. Approaching the 1 hour mark. They catch everyone off guard as Hawkinson got the ball right at the edge of the 6-yard box, just trying to play it off a pinball into the back of the New Mexico net, and instead rides out for yet another corner.
See, he's kicking himself there, was wide open, had a lot of daylight. Still would have been a really thin margin to squeeze it by.
And Harvey Neville in the in-swinging position. And Tambakis able to climb and pick it up. Looks to get rid of it quickly. He's got Lucio Barone all over him, though, and doesn't allow him to make the clearance.
Intelligent defense, really intelligent. I mean, sometimes you might get called for that, but I think he did a great job. Really could have cost them some problems there.
Kale trying to search out Fernando. Paredes hopping over the defense, but instead lands at the feet of Chris Gloucester. Zico Bailey will switch. There's Jalen Lindsay. And beyond the reach of Akale making the run. 1 hour in the books. SAFC, they're going to go to their bench here. They're going to have 3 substitutes come on momentarily, one of which will be Jorge Hernandez. He's missed the last 5 matches for SAFC dealing with a lower body injury, has not played since the 14th of June. Referee says play on after Paredes hits the deck for, it's got to be about the 6th or 7th time already in this match. Gloucester will take possession here. Fernando in a wrestling match with Nicky Hernandez, and Hernandez comes away as the winner there. Buckmaster. Paredes, Amir Soto. SAFC will make the switch. Mitchell Tainer, Hawkinson, and Talon Maples will take it for the visitors. Valentin Noel will get his first touch here with his new club. And run over from behind by Lucio Barone will be a foul. And we will have substitutes come on here momentarily now for SAFC, as Jorge Hernandez will make his return here. Will come on for Luke Hawkinson. Jake LaCava will come on for Juan Agudelo. And Alexis Suaje is going to come on here as well for SAFC, as Suaje is going to come on for Almir Soto. For New Mexico United, Among will come off, and Luis Fernando will come off. Replaced by Tomas Pandeka. And Greg Hurst will be the other substitute for New Mexico. So Among and Fernando are off. Pandeka and Hurst on. And Jorge Hernandez coming on here as Juan Agudelo gets a very loud ovation as he comes off the pitch after his brace gives SAFC the opportunity to move through.
Incredible work there from Agudelo. You can see the rested and recovered, games missed. Mohamed Omar 9, Pacheco 9 as well. Rest assured, Jorge Hernandez really happy to be back here. Fans happy to see him too.
Yeah, we'll see if Pacheco maybe gets 10 minutes or so here tonight as Hurst onside, first touch. New Mexico wanted a handball after Hurst tried to play it across the face. It was blocked out. San Antonio FC will make the clearance. Here's Gloucester. Pandeka, edge of the box. Tomas Pandeka earned himself in his club a corner after that's defended out by Reese Buckmaster.
Reese Buckmaster, quite probably one of the best outside backs. I know outside backs don't get a ton of recognition, but for him, it's so hard to beat him one-on-one. He's going to stand up pretty much anyone you put in front of him. Not only that, his contributions in offense
after the throw awarded back to New Mexico. Vargas lost his footing. United will keep possession. That ball, much like the night for New Mexico, just a little bit off target. Valentin Noel trying to learn his new teammates, reunited with his former coach Dennis Sanchez. Valentin Noel, 1 goal, 1 assist in his 17 matches with Las Vegas Lights. 17 goals in 76 career matches that also included a stint with Austin FC 2 of MLS Next Pro. Native of France, already had a match here at Toyota Field this year when his Lights squad lost 3-0 San Antonio FC, and that summed up the end of the coaching tenure of Antonio Noceroni after that loss for New Mexico, or for Las Vegas rather. San Antonio will have the corner here. Jorge Hernandez. Well, good to have him back in these situations. As you know, set pieces, especially as you get to playoff time, become so critical. And oftentimes they lead to the difference between wins and losses, and championships won and championships lost.
Put it right on the mark too, and that one's going to be in the parking lot? No, almost.
There's that pressure coming from Hernandez.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys, he could miss a couple of games. That's not going to stop the engine by any means. Probably most fit guy on this team.
Petroni. Tanner. Alexis Suaje hasn't seen a lot of action with SAFC, just 7 matches of USL Championship play.
Yeah, interesting change up there. I felt like San Antonio was doing so well through the middle, able to close things down, but probably want someone who might sit back more, as Jorge Hernandez is a guy who likes to carry and really get super creative up top.
Yeah, obviously gives Carlos Hermoso a much different dynamic as he takes a knock there from Pondeca. His whistle for the foul, but the shape is staying the same here for SAFC on the attack, with Paredes out wide on the right side. Now kind of pushed Harvey Neville forward here into the spot formerly occupied there by Luke Hawkinson, and Jake LaCava taking the spot of Juan Agudelo. So you kind of got Jorge Hernandez sitting in that, Nicky Hernandez number 10 spot right now. But I mean, don't be fooled. Jorge Hernandez, he can play both sides of the field.
Yeah,
with ease.
Jorge Hernandez is a wild card.
You can't stick a number on him in terms of the soccer formation.
As a coach, I love that, though. I want the guy who's going to read the spaces, be creative. You don't have to stay in your spot. It really feeds right into that Colombian style of play.
Suaje coming in, more of a natural center back. He's playing alongside Cronali, and so now they've pushed Mitchell Tainer outside to the left fullback. But I mean, that's a position that Mitch is more than capable of playing, very comfortable in that spot for the last few years here in San Antonio, playing that outside left fullback spot.
Right, definitely much more of an attacking mindset approach here for San Antonio. You can see that high press led there by Jorge. Where they're going to have to be careful is the ball's through the middle. It's going to leave them exposed a little bit in the back. I think part of the reason they've been so dominant in play has been their defense.
San Antonio is going to have a good challenge in USL Championship play next Saturday night when Sacramento Republic comes to town. Sac Republic's been one of the hottest teams here over the last month of the regular season. They have shot up the Western Conference table, now number 4, sitting with 24 points in 16 matches, 3-1-1 over their last 5. They're winning right now at home in their Jägermeister Cup match this evening. They got a chance to win the group, depending on They can surpass Las Vegas Lights in goals here as ball go back to Bacchus in New Mexico.
Another team that wouldn't shock me even in the least. Sacramento Republic has just been good for a long time.
Taking on Spokane Velocity tonight, and Sacramento Republic winning 1-0 on the road in Western Washington this evening. Or Eastern Washington, I should say.
Jorge Hernandez getting a touch on it there. Thought might have been able to convert.
Gloucester with 20 minutes remaining, and that second goal by Agudelo has kind of zapped a lot of the momentum out of the visitors here as Valentin Noel. This is what he can do. Plays a very similar style to Jorge Hernandez as that number 10. A giveaway, a rare one by Hernandez, leads to a chance here for Jalen Lindsay. Pondeka, and he put it through Greg Hurst. Trying to bring it down, and it went right through the legs of Hurst and out. And again, kind of sums up what the night has been like for New Mexico.
Right, well, I think what Jorge was doing there was just a back heel. Soto pulled what looks like a muscle as he was kind of limping over, couldn't get to that ball in time. But you see how the dynamic changes here when San Antonio's not defending heavily in the middle. It gives guys like Valentin Noel a lot of time and daylight to kind of slalom through guys. You don't want to let him gain that momentum at all whatsoever, because he'll take on half a team.
Yeah, and I think one area where New Mexico lost a lot was in that number 10 position with the departure of Marco Micheletto, who was one of the best in that spot last season for New Mexico United. And his departure kind of left a little bit of a gap from the attacking mindset. And although Marlon Vargas, I think, has done a pretty good job in filling the void, 2 goals on the season, I think Valentin Noel can be a guy that slips into that spot and really helps Dennis Sanchez's team going forward here over the second half of the season. And more substitutes.
He definitely adds some creativity into the attack just by kind of being in his own lane. I think the challenge is going to be the guys playing off of him, finding spaces to work with him.
And this next substitute's going to be a heck of a one here for New Mexico that they're going to celebrate. Deon Harris, his first match back since tearing his ACL at the end of last season, has been in recovery since October of last year. The Milton, Ontario native back on the field here in 2025, and what a story as he comes on here for Marlon Vargas for these last 20 minutes.
It's such a mental thing, too, coming back from that level of an injury. Huge tear, career, season-ending, rather, injury, to come back and play like it never happened.
Congratulations to Deon Harris. The veteran could be a huge addition here for New Mexico as they try to stake their claim atop the Western Conference table. And you know, the Western Conference just so really wide open right now, Katie. Here is again Paredes. He's down on the field, and the yellow card has been assessed.
Yeah, I think people have circled Paredes' name on the sheet there. They know if they give him any space, he's going to break, and so people become overly physical with him to try to shut him down. But all of that, of course, comes at a cost as he's holding his knee there. Just looking back at this interaction.
Ooh, you see his right knee kind of turn there. Ooh, that does not look good just from watching that replay right there.
Not good at all. He didn't get his foot planted, which then made the knee really unstable. I hate to see that for him.
Talon Maples will pick up the yellow after the challenge there on Paredes, who has been, to your point, kind of a bit of a marked man throughout the night. Obviously plays with a level of physicality, and New Mexico's tried to match that. Maples takes a yellow, but obviously the concern is for Andres Paredes, who clearly has been one of the biggest reasons for San Antonio FC's success over the last month.
No doubt about it at all whatsoever. I mean, whether he's distributing or finishing, just causing problems in general, his movement off the ball is next level. He's one of those players that this team really leans on to make it all work.
You can You can see some of the concern on the faces of the SAFC players surrounding Paredes, and you can see now they're calling for the stretcher here, as this is not good for Luis Paredes. And
we just talked about a guy coming back on after losing a season due to an ACL tear. And then you see this, it's just really unfortunate. But when you look at that replay, there's not much he could have done. I mean, it's just the way his foot planted. I mean, you can do all the PT in the world, and sometimes that's not going to avoid a situation like this. And yeah, it was a bit of a scuffle. There was a yellow involved, but whether or not that caused potential injury to that degree, that's a whole nother thing.
No, this is so unfortunate for Paredes. He just really has found his form here in San Antonio. He's been taking English lessons from a young man over at St. Mary's. Such unfamiliarity when you come to North America for the first time. And Carlos Llamosa has talked about this on so many occasions as Paredes gets a nice round of applause as he's stretched off here. But, you know, there's so many different languages, right, that these players come from so many different backgrounds. Carlos Llamosa says the universal language, it's soccer. That's the one thing that binds all these guys together, is the language of soccer. And so whether you speak Spanish, whether you speak French, English, whatever it may be, soccer unites everybody. And we wish nothing but the best for Andres Paredes as he's taken back to the locker room. Obviously very disconcerting. Meanwhile, the SAFC wanted to get their sub in. Landry Walker was held out. And right now SAFC playing a man down as they restarted play.
Seems kind of ridiculous. I mean, goes down on a yellow. Why would you not sub someone in right there when the play is stopped? At least Diego Pacheco coming into the mix here. Originally recruited to be that guy, to be that point guy, the goal scorer of the team. Went down early. Jorge Hernandez steps into that position. Does a great job, but here's to hoping Pacheco can eventually come in and make a difference. Of course, coach not wanting to get him back too soon.
Okay, so Landry Walker, they had him coming on for Almir Soto, but Carlos Llamosa saying no. Soto staying on. Walker now will come on for the injured Paredes, who went off. So Landry Walker, the Academy product, will come on here. Second opportunity in.
Looks like he's trying to take more of a defensive approach.
Yeah.
You can see you've got 5 guys sitting back, 3 defensive middies in there. If New Mexico is going to get something, it's going to be right here.
And now they fixed the substitute. You know, I'm guessing that's confusion. I don't know what the technicality is. If that is, when the board goes up, what's the official word? Does that become like an illegal substitution because wrong player went on? But again, these are minor things here, obviously, in the case of everything. But it's probably something that Dennis Sanchez was wondering about. Meanwhile, another foul here as Pronali is knocked to the ground.
And you know that one hurt too. New Mexico very clearly frustrated, just putting bodies on the ground. Let's look back at this. It's a late hit, and it's the way that he fell there on the ground. But yeah, it was a pretty ugly one. Not even really going for the ball. Hitting him after the ball's been passed.
Carlos Llamosa is asking for another sub here, trying to get Diego Pacheco on here before the reset. And now he will get him on. And Pacheco will come on now, and now it will be Almir Soto will come off.
Fortunate these guys had time to rest, and now we've got a couple of banged up guys here just in the last 10 minutes.
Another yellow handed out here. Diego Pacheco was given the yellow coming on.
Yeah, he went on too fast. It's those technicalities we were just talking about. Just silly. This is a real wild card of a match here now.
Well, I mean, because it's Jägermeister Cup, nothing really carries over back to USL Championship play. And from New Mexico standpoint, they're eliminated with the current score line as it is.
Landry Walker playing with an arm brace.
Pacheco.
Close, almost tricky. You can see the mindset.
Take the throw here. So now Pacheco's in the spot that previously was occupied by Andres Paredes. Diego Pacheco, 10 matches this season, 1 goal, 1 assist, but hasn't been available for SAFC since going back to the beginning of May. Native of Portugal, Pacheco last season, big part of FC Tulsa's success, particularly in the second half of the year, and might have to, depending on the outcome of Andres Paredes' injury, Pacheco might have to occupy a significant role for the club moving forward here in the second half of the season.
The struggle is the last time they tried to bring him back early, he re-injured himself. So, you know, as much as they want him out there, they're going to have to really ration those minutes for where they count, like right here.
And this is kind of what you hoped for, was that he would get 10 minutes tonight in his return. Maybe not necessarily in the situation that produced it, but still getting very valuable minutes nonetheless. Valentin Noel pushing this out wide. Lindsay. Ball's into the box. And again, New Mexico wanted a handball whistle, none called, and then foul coming back here. And Jalen Lindsay will be shown yellow. Stay on Harris, beg your pardon, coming back. He'll pick up the yellow.
San Antonio's going to have to make the most of this set piece just to regain control. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they put it into a spot where they can regain possession here rather than just sending it up. That's what I would want to do. You've got some wide open looks. Lucio Barone right there. Well, was open to receive, no longer. Not, they might be going Diogo Pacheco. He's got 3 yellow jerseys to work through.
And you know, something to keep in mind. Yeah, it's the final 10 minutes of this match here, but with everything that has gone on here tonight, these clubs still have one more match remaining in the regular season, right back here at Toyota Field on September the 6th. So I'm sure what has already gone on here tonight is going to be in the minds of all of these players in a little over a month's time.
Oh, absolutely. I had a chance to talk to, Coach Dennis Sanchez, and I asked him about that. I said, you're playing them at least 3 times this season, and you might play them a 4th in the playoffs, considering you're both sitting at the top of the table. And he said, yeah, it's always difficult when you become more familiar with each other, but at the end of the day, you're just playing your game, and that's all you can do. And I think it's just, you learn a little more each time. You find there spots you can exploit and spots you got to be more careful with.
How much space are you going to take, Sean?
Well, it started poorly tonight for New Mexico as Lucio Barone slips one through here to Pacheco. Pacheco will leave a runner, and that ball off the bar, and then over goal for Jake LaCava. So close to Lucio Barone's, or rather Landry Walker, his first goal.
Beautiful there, Landry Walker. Great effort, running in, continuing that late run for the young guy. Again, that academy product, but my goodness. Jaw on the floor there. Unfortunate, LaCava not able to put it and keep it down, but it's the way the ball was bouncing. Almost wish he would have run through it with his head. Just a diving header into the ball would have maybe directed it where he wanted to go. Really hard to handle a bounce like that with your cleat. But again, the magic there on the right side for Diogo Pacheco. Nice little step over, beats the defender, gets it into a tricky spot. It's that delivery into a dangerous spot. You see why they want him back on the field.
Jabang, Gloucester. Good touch from Pacheco. It's another chance for La Cava. This time Timbakis will come out to meet him. And out to Jalen Lindsay on that right flank. It's well defended there by Jorge Hernandez. So good in these situations. Earns a yellow.
Again, just one of those players that can switch from that defensive mindset into the most creative attacking one. I think that's why he's such a problem there for people. And then now you have two players who can equally put in a really nice set piece.
That's the fourth caution of the night against New Mexico United, as Lindsay's in the books. Again, none of these carry over into regular season play in USL Championship, but again, when these two clubs are going to meet again here in a little over a month's time, it's certainly going to be topical. And we're in the corner here to San Antonio, sixth time tonight. SAFC gets back to USL Championship play next Saturday night here at home against Sacramento Republic. New Mexico United returning to USL play on the road Wednesday night. They will be in Hartford against Brendan Burke's Hartford Athletics squad.
It's an SAFC corner.
Hernandez over the ball. To that back post, punched out by Timbakis. Tainer collects. Swing one in, lands instead Dayon Harris. Hurst calling for ball across the field. Pendeka slips past Neville and clipped from behind there by Mitchell Tainer. That should be a yellow against Tainer, and it will be.
Smart yellow, I would say. He was definitely on a break there.
Lead to a chance here for New Mexico in these closing minutes to try to Joey Petroni's shutout. And really, again, since Agudelo's second goal, very little in the way of resistance from New Mexico in the other direction. Petroni hasn't had to handle very much here in the second half.
No, he hasn't, which is surprising because there's been a couple of moments where things really opened up there. It's just the defense has done well to scramble and handle it.
So both Quelle Akale and Greg Hurst over the ball here for the visitors. Getting closer to full time.
Got to keep their attention span and keep that man mark going.
The light about to be extinguished for New Mexico United and their chance to try to push through in this USL Jägermeister Cup. Akale, well over goal there with the left.
Mexico's going to have to do better at taking advantage of those set pieces.
San Antonio FC Soccer on FanDuel Sports Network is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. San Antonio FC just minutes away here from punching their ticket to the knockout round. And as the Group 2 winner, SAFC, they'll host their quarterfinal matchup here at Toyota Field. It'll be a midweek matchup Wednesday night, August the 20th, 7:30. Tickets will go on sale Monday afternoon at 12. San Antonio FC season ticket members will have Jägermeister Cup quarterfinal tickets already included as part of their membership. It'll be loaded up into their accounts at no cost. always good when you get some free soccer in your account. That's what San Antonio FC is just about to do here. It's a chance. Jorge Hernandez let one fly. Tamakis making the save. Good to see Jorge Hernandez get back to the swing of things here. Already sitting on 7 goals in USL Championship play this year.
Didn't take him long at all either. Looking back at that, he gets his head up. He sees he's got some space. Really makes Tamakis work for that one.
It's the 9th shot tonight for SAFC, the 5th one on target in this match. We'll see how much added time near the end of the second half. That's headed off again off the bar. Another chance for SAFC going off the bar here. Ball's knocked down before it gets through. Taylor's chance doesn't come clean. And Tamakis is fouled by Cronali, who's going to pick up a yellow here. Because this match is already featured enough, we got another 10 minutes to play here. 10 minutes of added time at the end of the second half.
I assumed as much with all the drama that's happened in this second half between people going off on stretchers and all the weird substitutions. Doesn't surprise me in the least, and a lot can happen in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, New Mexico did score twice in stoppage time in the first meeting between these clubs a few weeks ago, but even if that were to happen in these 10 minutes, it wouldn't change the outcome. Hernandez, the turn. Beautiful ball upfield. Pacheco, that ball served from behind is going to land back to Valentin Noel in the middle of the park, and he's run over by Jorge Hernandez.
What a picture-perfect ball into the corner. You couldn't ask for a more perfect ball to run into. It had the pace, it had the backspin, perfection. You can see what LaCava was trying to do. He doesn't have eyes in the back of his head, so he assumed there's going to be a late run there.
Service intended for Deon Harris is broken up. Jalen Lindsay will take the throw for New Mexico. McCauley, Noel. Here's Gloucester. Cross. That lands down in front. Here's Pondeka. He never pulled the trigger. That chance for Valentin Noel is good. Noel breaks up the shutout in his New Mexico debut and puts the visitors on the board here in second half stoppage time. It's 2-1.
Not shocked at all there from Noel Valentin. Great work. I mean, he's found ways to get open all night long. He just picks up there off the ricochet, puts it away, perfect placement. Cannot give him a look at goal. I mean, no keeper was going to get on the end of that either.
Valentin Noel scoring for the second time this season. Again, that gives you a different dynamic, certainly for New Mexico moving forward in the second half of the USL Championship season.
Only if necessary.
New Mexico United, they're still playing for something here because, keep this in mind, even if this match were to end in a draw, we would go to penalties, and there's a very valuable second point that's on the table possibly for New Mexico. Could result in a wild card spot here. And it's going to be a yellow shown to Reese Buckmaster. And that's going to set up a pretty tasty looking free kick here for New Mexico.
So many yellows in one game. I mean, and I feel like it's only going to escalate here. So the guys sitting on yellows need to really be aware that they don't pull a double.
Joey Petroni concedes for the first time in his San Antonio FC career after giving up the goal moments ago to Valentin Noel. Again, should this match finish level, SAFC would advance through, but we would go to penalties for a potential second point awarded to the winner, which could be important for New Mexico, trying to get in as a possible wild card. Kale can't get that one through. Gets him back as he's already over the line in the San Antonio FC side of the field.
New Mexico is able to equalize here. It's really going to be terrible for San Antonio. Really and truly, I think the better team, the vast majority of this game, plagued by some unfortunate injuries there.
It's a late challenge from Gloucester, and he'll join the Amarillo party here. And again, we talked about how everything building up here is just going to carry over in about 5 weeks' time when these two clubs see each other again. I mean, this is going to be one heck of a match in September, and who knows what's going to be at stake at that point in terms of positioning for playoffs when it comes to the Western Conference in the USL Championship, Katie, because as we said before, right now the Western Conference is wide open. I mean, you've got 9 points separating the top 9 teams in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be a lot more to play for at that point than here in this Jägermeister Cup. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Everyone wants to take home some hardware, bring a trophy back to their hometown, but you know, at the end of the day, it's about what you're doing in season and getting into playoffs, and I guarantee you that these guys are going to face off in the playoffs at some point.
No team in the Western Conference has more than 8 wins in the regular season. It's a far cry from the Eastern Conference, where Charleston and Louisville are running away with the Supporters Shield, 13 and 11 wins respectively. But I mean, Tulsa, San Antonio, New Mexico, Sacramento, all separated by 5 points in the table. It's just we will see oscillating and jockeying of positions as the second half of the USL Championship season continues on here. Hernandez. Find Pacheco. Take it down to the corner where he gets trapped there, and ball will come out. It'll be a throw to San Antonio. And just to your point, Kate, even if San Antonio were to concede, they would get through, but it would taste a lot sweeter on the strength of a victory in full time. Winning the group, kind of a bit of a odd position to win when you come away with a draw.
Right. And well, considering how well they've done this whole game, I think they'd be really, really bitter if they give that up here in these last few minutes, which would only carry over into the next game.
That's going to be a throw awarded to New Mexico. Zico Bailey, you want to get it back to Tambakis perhaps here to see if he can boot one forward as we're kind of the final 3 minutes of added time here in the second half, but I figure you might get a couple of more that gets added on here. There's a second ball on the field. That was thrown by the assistant. I don't think he realized that that ball was not going to go out of play. All sorts of tomfoolery going on here at the end of this match tonight at Toyota Field.
My goodness. I mean, at this point, the betting odds are wild for USL Championship. So much unpredictability.
Good throw to New Mexico United.
It's a good clean tackle there from Landry Walker, young Academy product.
Moved their way up the field, though, however, into an opportunity to try to level this thing up.
Not only that, he's playing with the cast there. I think people don't realize how hard that is. Yeah, you're not using your hands in soccer, but you use your arm to hold people off. And if you've got something going on there, you're going to feel it if you get pushed off the ball.
The run for Noel, much more engaged, obviously, now here as he finds a little bit more footing in this attack, and will earn New Mexico. It'll be their 8th corner of the evening.
Another thing to talk about are the opportunities missed there by San Antonio. We had a couple of chances to put away some really easy goals and just didn't do it. One of those things that's got to be cleaned up moving forward.
Intended for Lindsay, but Cronale was there to break it up. Noel. Zico Bailey. Service into the box. That's dangerous. A chance! And New Mexico is leveled! Coming back from down. 2. And who else but Dayon Harris in his return from ACL surgery. What a moment. And New Mexico United has evened this up at 2 goals apiece.
And not only that, it was a really quality goal. Off the volley, pretty much vertical to the ground, just beauty. As you can see here, ball goes in, gets redirected, loose. He takes it one time off the volley. That is a picture-perfect goal. Potentially goal of the week. Beautiful, no keepers getting that. Through traffic.
Dayon Harris, just 7 goals in his overall professional career, but boy, that one was dandy. We'll see how much more time we get added on here. This is where Jägermeister Cup becomes crazy. Because now San Antonio FC's really got to survive here, or however much more time we're going to get added on.
Yeah, they're going to have to make a magic goal happen, or we're going to PKs.
Yeah, look at this. Jorge Hernandez just sending it all the way back to Joey Petroni. And Petroni will boot it forward here. But at least now, this makes whatever time remaining in this match very, very interesting. It looked like San Antonio FC had this all sealed up, and they still very may well.
Thank you so much. He dropped it somewhere.
That's a ball awarded back to Petroni here.
So how much time extra have they revealed this? Did I miss it?
No, well, there was no additional time. I mean, again, it's exact. That's one of the big changes this year in USL is that it's nothing estimated, but you're adding for the 2 goals. You're adding for the injury. I'm guessing there's got to be, the 2 goals give you a minute, so we've got a minute here. I would say at the least 1 minute remain, at most.
Talk about drama.
And New Mexico will have a throw. Now remember, going back to the first half, San Antonio FC had a corner and an opportunity potentially to score before halftime, and they blew the whistle, ending the half.
Yes, they did. Imagine if that had changed things. There's so many moments here for San Antonio that could have changed things.
Tabakis, he's off his line. He's unbelievably off his line here. Talon Maples able to play it.
Wonderful next level defending there for Maples.
Here we go. Chris Gloucester. Tainer. Jalen Lindsay. Serve this one into the box, looking for Hurst. And full time, San Antonio FC wins Group 2 as they advance through thanks to the draw against New Mexico United. But we have penalties coming up here because this is a very potential valuable point for New Mexico United that's still at stake. We will take a 1-minute break and we will set up penalties here as this match finishes level. San Antonio FC has won Group 2, but Dayon Harris has given New Mexico United life still in the Jägermeister Cup here on FanDuel Sports Network. A wild night of the final night of group play here in the USL Jägermeister Cup. San Antonio FC looked like they had this one in the bag. 8th minute in, Juan Agudelo, first of 2 on the night from Andres Paredes. And this second one from Mitchell Tainer was just as good, Katie, as Agudelo beats Tim Backus to the near side. It looked like it was San Antonio FC's night, but here comes New Mexico United.
All it took was a couple of injuries, some substitutions, really opened up the game there, and you just can't give Valentin Noel that kind of space. He's going to take it. And then here's the second shot. Beautiful stuff. The redirect. He takes it one time off the volley. Magic.
Magic indeed for Deon Harris, his first match back since returning from ACL surgery at the end of last season. What a moment for Deon Harris. So we are level at 2, and by rule in the Jägermeister Cup, there is a second point that's available, and that is determined in penalties. It's the first time San Antonio FC will go to penalties. It's the third time in 4 matches, Katie, that New Mexico United will go to penalties. They're 2-0. They've won both their matches in penalties so far this year.
And you know that's a streak that they're going to want to break, but it's better than a loss, right? So that comeback was wild, man, and that's what you love about the USL Championship, is anything can happen with just the movement of a couple of guys. Things open up, things get wild and dramatic.
So San Antonio, New Mexico gets set for penalties. How about this situation for Joey Petroni, getting a chance to be in a penalty situation here for the first time in his pro career.
Chance to show out too and be the hero.
For San Antonio FC, Jorge Hernandez 3 for 3 in penalties this year. Mitch Tainer is 1 for 1. And Andres Paredes had the other one, but he's obviously not available after suffering an injury earlier in the second half. Meanwhile, for New Mexico United this season in penalties, Talon Maples 3 for 3. And he's the only player in USL Championship play that's taken penalties for New Mexico United.
Interesting, considering the team's been tying quite a bit. Hopefully they have been getting their fill in practice for these moments.
Tim Backus has given up 2 penalties on 2 attempts this year. And instructions from center referee Matthew Corrigan. So again, both these teams have earned a point. San Antonio FC 10 points now, New Mexico United 7 points. SAFC wins the group. They will host a quarterfinal matchup in the knockout round on August 20th. But, and I think it's a very slim chance, New Mexico United, should they win this penalty kick shootout, would earn a second point, would get them to 8 points. They would need a lot to go their way to earn one of those 2 wild cards. Now, ironically, Katie, SAFC, their opponent, is wildcard team number 2 in the quarterfinal round of the USL Jägermeister Cup. So I gotta believe New Mexico United, if they were to sneak in, would be wildcard number 2.
Oh my goodness.
It's Greg Hurst.
Drive us crazy. Too many wild cards. Too many yellow cards.
Petroni. Hurst from the spot. Drives it right through. Applause from his teammates as the veteran goal scorer Greg Hurst gives New Mexico United the lead in the first round of penalties.
You can see where he took the delay, waited for the keep to commit, went right down the middle.
I mentioned Jorge Hernandez is 3 for 3 this season in penalties, 6 for 8 in his USL Championship career. It's Backus, who's conceded 2 goals on both penalty kick attempts that he's faced this season. Hernandez looking to even it up after the first round. And he goes for the Panenka, and it lands softly to Tim Backus.
Oh, man, not much work there from Tim Backus, but he's a veteran. You know, he's been a thorn in San Antonio's side for a long, long time. Notoriously, when you play against Tim Backus, San Antonio has trouble, but unfortunate there for Jorge, trying to be tricky and shifty.
Not much pace on that. I know Panenka is a changeup, Katie, but I mean, Tim Backus might have been able to make a move and still come back, perhaps, for that ball.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I think it's unfortunate when you're out of play for a while to come in and try to do something like that.
Kwele Akale trying to give the visitors a commanding lead in this penalty shootout.
As you can see there, Jordan trying to get his eyes up to see if he's going to lead with his eyes in any way.
Akale with power to the left puts it home. And it's 2-0 New Mexico United here. San Antonio in the second round of penalties.
Probably really didn't give up much there in that situation. His hips were pretty square. It's a hard one to guess. As a keeper, all you can do is go with all your might in one direction. Now for Mitch Tainer, has a PK already, looking for another.
Against New Mexico United, against Timbakis just a few weeks ago. So Timbakis at least has a scouting report, I guess.
Right, so here's the mental chess. Will he do it again, same direction or different?
Round two, off the crossbar for Mitchell Tainer, and Timbakis wins that one.
Wow, Timbakis not having to do much work out here, but not wrong there on Mitch Tainer, trying to go for the pace. And so close. I mean, at least he didn't sky it, but man, that's tough.
And so now New Mexico in complete control of this penalty shootout here, up 2 goals in the third round. And Talon Maples, who we said before, 3 for 3 this season in penalties. Hey, Joey Petroni picking up a yellow card.
Whatever you got to do to win this one is I think what he's thinking.
Delay, stall tactics, getting it ahead of the Texan Talon Maples. We'll try to put New Mexico United on the cusp of winning here. And Talon Maples delivers, sending Petroni the other way, and it's 3-0 New Mexico United here in penalties. And Maples salutes the visiting New Mexico United fans that traveled the 10 hours from Albuquerque for this match here tonight.
Was that classic delay, waited for the keeper to commit, just put it away.
All right, Harvey Neville has to score here, or New Mexico United will earn the win in the penalty shootout.
The guy Llamosa talked up a bunch, said he's like a Jimmy Madronda, so now's the time to prove it.
Wasting no time, and Harvey Neville sends it wide, and New Mexico United earns the second point here in penalties. Well, it's a draw for San Antonio FC. It's a win in penalties for New Mexico United, but after all that, San Antonio FC is still a winner tonight as they win Group 2 of the USL Jägermeister Cup. And San Antonio FC will host wild card number 2, whoever that may be, coming up on August the 20th. 7:30 p.m. will be that game. Tickets will go on sale July 28th. That's Monday at 12 o'clock. Be sure to check your emails. Follow us on social media. Go to sanantoniofc.com for ticket updates, opponent details, and more. So all the quarterfinal matchups in terms of how they stack up right now. There you see it. Loudoun United will take on the Group 2 winner. Rhode Island FC takes on wildcard 1. Greenville Triumph and Indy 11. San Antonio FC against a undetermined wildcard winner who very well could be these New Mexico United folks once again, Katie.
Wow, well, excuse me while I pick my jaw up off the floor. I think San Antonio has some work to do on PKs, going back to the drawing board, but all in all, really pretty solid quality moment game there for them. It's just those last final minutes got the best of them, and that's soccer.
There's your knockout round schedule. Quarterfinals August 20th, semifinals September 10th, and the final will be October 4th. Again, like we said, it's a weird feeling. You lose the match, but you end up a winner when all is said and done.
So I guess that's U.S. soccer for you. Whatever it takes to get by. Win to win.
San Antonio FC, they lose in penalties, but they win Group 2 as they take 10 points to take control of Group 2 and advance to the knockout stage of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Fun one here tonight at Toyota Field. 2-2 the final. New Mexico wins it in penalties. SAFC Sacramento Republic next Saturday night as SAFC returns to USL Championship play. New Mexico in Hartford on Wednesday night. For Katie Goodman, our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss saying so long. This has been a presentation of USL Championship and Spurs Sports Entertainment. So long, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.